Climate change is one of the most pressing challenges we face today. It's not just about rising temperatures. It's about the impact on our ecosystems, our health, and our future. Did you know that the last 7 years have been the hottest on record? This warming is largely driven by greenhouse gas emissions from burning fossil fuels. As glaciers melt and sea levels rise, coastal cities are at risk of flooding. Wildlife is also affected. Species are struggling to adapt to changing climates, leading to a loss of biodiversity. But there's hope. Renewable energy sources like solar and wind are becoming more accessible. And small changes in our daily lives, like reducing waste and conserving energy, can make a big difference. Together, we can combat climate change and protect our planet for generations to come. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most pressing issues of our time, climate change. We're going to explore the heated debates around climate policies, the challenges of sustainable living, and the recent natural events that have sent shockwaves through the planet. Stick around because, trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see why this topic affects every single one of us. Yes, including you. From scorching heat waves to intense floods, climate change is no longer just a future concern, it's happening now. But the big question is, what are we doing about it? Let's find out. Let's start with the policies. World governments, climate activists, and industries are in an ongoing tug-of-war over what needs to be done and how fast. Some argue we need radical change, yesterday. Others say the costs are too high or that the transition needs to be gradual. For example, a policy designed to reduce emissions by making polluters pay more. Some nations, like Sweden, swear by it. But critics argue it unfairly burdens low-income families who rely on fossil fuels. And then there are net zero pledges, where countries aim to balance carbon emissions by 2050. It sounds promising, but many say these promises are just PR stunts with no real action. We also see resistance from industries like oil and gas, who claim that sudden shifts to renewables could wreck economies. It's a battle between short-term profits and long-term survival, and progress is slow. Now let's talk about sustainable practices. It's not just governments. Everyday people are getting involved too. You've probably heard things like switch to electric vehicles, go vegan, or reduce plastic waste. But how much of an impact do these changes really make? Here's the truth. Individual actions matter, but they won't solve the problem alone. For example, just 100 companies are responsible for over 70% of global emissions. So while recycling that water bottle is helpful, the real change must come from systemic shifts, like transitioning entire industries to renewable energy. Is sustainable living just a feel-good trend, or is it something we all need to embrace to survive? And here's another thing. Sustainable living isn't always easy or affordable. Electric cars are expensive, eco-friendly products cost more, and many don't have access to alternatives. So, is this movement only for the rich? Let's get real. Climate change is already here, and it's hitting hard. In just the past year, we've seen record-breaking wildfires, devastating floods, and scorching heat waves that made it nearly impossible to go outside. Experts warn that these events will only get worse unless we act now. And it's not just extreme weather. Antarctica's ice sheets are melting faster than ever, raising sea levels. If things don't change, coastal cities like New York, Miami, and Mumbai could be underwater within decades. It's not just the environment at stake. Climate change threatens economies, public health, and could push hundreds of millions into poverty by 2050. So, here we are. The big question, is it too late? The good news is, scientists believe that if we act now, we can still avoid the worst outcomes. Governments need to commit, industries must innovate, and we all need to demand better. Remember, every action counts. Whether it's planting a tree, supporting climate policies, or spreading awareness, we all have a role to play. So, what do you think? Can we make the changes needed, or are we too stuck in our old ways? Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button, subscribe for more content, and share this with your friends. Together, we can make a difference.